I'd like to take a look at the cloud stocks now. Welcome in Hatem Dhiab, Managing Partner, Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, the group has certainly been beaten down and somewhat out of favor, and I've had so many people come on and they love them and they pick certain names. But I think overall, what we've seen with tech, it's sort of hard to even get the winners out of there, and eventually they'll bounce back, right? I mean, what's your big picture on this?
Thank you for having me back, Nicole. Your guest Joel was spot on. You know, the cloud cannot be more exciting going forward. If you think about what happened to us during the pandemic, is this digital transformation story has just simply accelerated at a point that we haven't seen in a long time. So if you are a CEO or anybody who runs a company, and I don't care if it's 5 employees or 50,000 employees, all you're thinking about right now is flexibility, security, efficiency, and all these things can be accomplished by having the right cloud names or cloud systems within your organization. So I think that really is going to create a lot of opportunities going forward. Now, yes, all these names have been sold off quite hard, and this happens when you invest in software during times of corrections or when there is a lot of anxiety or uncertainty like we have right now. You're going to see people selling everything, and this is where the opportunities usually kind of come in.
And that's what I'm saying. I agree with you in that, look, sometimes we see the baby out with the bathwater. When you see the NASDAQ down 20% off its highs, you can't imagine that everything, and by the way, many of the names in technology are not down 20%. They're down 30, 40, 50 to 70%, because I went through an entire list over the weekend of about 40 names, and just really unbelievable, and folks are nervous. At the same time, we need cloud, right? And to your point, and what Joel was saying earlier, so now what? You have names on the list that you wanted to bring to us today that seem to be somewhat standouts. What names are they and why?
Sure. So first of all, right, when you have tough times like this, and you're right, the NASDAQ doesn't really reflect how bad things have been because some of the names are down 40, 50%. You want to stay with a little bit of quality. So you can kind of look at the big names like the Microsofts, the Amazons. These are Adobe. You know, these are companies that are very well run. They have really strong cash flows. They have really strong balance sheets, and really they've proven themselves with a huge moat. These are names you want to own and you want to hold within your portfolios because they are the leaders. I think of Microsoft as basically a massive diversified company that has so many different cloud businesses within it. So that's one place you want to be. And then, for example, within the cloud itself, you can think about security, right? Like the one thing that we need to do, and especially when we have a conflict with some of the Russia being one of the cyber security offender number one, and even China, you got to protect your cloud. And names like CrowdStrike are companies that you want to own because they've proved that they can help us really secure our cloud and make sure our systems are playing out well.
Yeah, I saw you have Salesforce and Splunk on there as well. Why did those come on your radar as winners? These are all buys for you, right?
Yeah, I mean we are being very careful, but we're looking at these companies as trading at their 52 lows basically, and yeah, they may not be very cheap, but they are cheaper than they've been in a long time, even pre-pandemic. So the idea here is, if you think that this cloud adoption story is just starting to play itself out, these are the names that you want to own. Salesforce is a company that is, has a huge adoption. Once you put Salesforce within your organization, you're never going to get rid of it. It's a very well run company. So you really want to think about which companies have that kind of ability to really kind of stay within the organization and have that stickiness that you get with the Salesforce or the Splunk.
And then you have, as you noted, some of these, you install these into your companies and integrate them into the company, and they never go away. And you have cybersecurity, we have supply chain disruptions, and some of these things help with all of that, right?
Right. I know we're my company has about 50 employees, and I think we probably installed 3 or different software system the last year or so. I think every CEO, every company is doing the same thing, trying to just find better efficiency, trying to think about the hybrid workforce. How can we provide more data for our employees? How can we serve our clients in a much better way? And cloud really does that. You know, we can hire better, we can train, we can use digital tools to really be able to optimize our workforce, and some of these names can allow us to do that. So I think this is just starting, and is going to continue to happen because it's going to bring so much efficiency, and the flexibility that we got during the pandemic is something that's going to stay with us for a long time.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you know, honestly, even with rising rates, you still like this group, right?
Well, I think with rising rates, we have a bit of a multiple, and it's just part of what happens when these things happen. But ultimately, when you have a cycle where we increase in rates, it's actually not a bad thing. The economy is doing well, so ultimately these contractions will end up being a great buying opportunities if you stay with them for the long term. You just have to find the winners.
Yeah. It's nice to see you, Hatem. Thank you so much. Hatem Dhiab, thank you. Good to have you on the show and taking a look at these cloud names. Appreciate it. Of Gerber Kawasaki Wealth Investment Management. Thank you.